Hey, all my Cancer friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today with your November 2024 monthly horoscope. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology. So when I refer to Cancer, I'm referring to Cancer rising as the first house and dictating the landscape of the chart. This is also applicable to Cancer sun and moon, as well as if you have three or more personal planets in the sign of Cancer. When I refer to a day and a time, it's based on the Pacific time zone, so please adjust for your location. The month starts off with a new moon in your fifth house of Scorpio. And this is a very powerful moon in many ways because it is making a one aspect to Saturn. And Saturn is in Pisces in your ninth house. This is giving you an opportunity to, in the darkest phase of the moon, where the sun and the moon come together, to plant the seeds based on faith. Faith that's something that you very dearly want. And that would be represented by Saturn in your ninth house. The ninth house, we traditionally think of foreign people, foreign places, higher education. But here I'm thinking sort of in a businessy way. The ninth house naturally rules publishing and branding and marketing. And for me, as technology has evolved, it's content creators and how you can reach the whole world, literally, with your videos and your opinions and your personal touch. So I think that Saturn, while it's stationing retrograde in your ninth house and has been retrograde, has been giving you an opportunity to really review and set structure to birth something of yourself creatively. Again, not all just because Pisces is a we think of Pisces as like dance and music and poetry and more the Venusian kind of creativity. It could very well be finance, something to do with being creative with money. Scorpio rules money in your fifth house, which is something you would create and conceive. And then the ninth house is naturally ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter, and that's expansion and wealth, literally making money. So I think that there's some support going on as you dig deep and confront whatever fears you have, as well as are willing to take the time and nurture something, that whatever it is that you would like to experience or what you'd like to grow in your life. We also have this continued opposition between Mars in your first house and Pluto in your seventh house. Mars has been going through that first house of yours for about 2 months. Mars is not necessarily the happiest camper in your house because Mars has to address other people's emotions, and Mars is usually focused on the self. So here, Mars is having to really address resentments, any anger, how do I manage my resentment? How do I manage my anger? How do I express myself and nurture myself and protect my home? That's another thing. Mars very much wants to protect the home. And here for you, Cancer, it's protecting the home that is you, the self, and feeling not really powerful, because the opposition really because Mars is in fall here, we have Pluto really as the heavyweight. And this is going to be Pluto unearthing and wanting to excavate and clean out the very last parts of you that don't believe in yourself, that somehow are gripped in an old story. The 29th degree is the Leo degree of love. It's also self-expression. The 29th degree reduces down to an 11, the master number of thought. This very much is supported. Pluto's energy is supported by Neptune, a spiritual dynamic to infuse wisdom into whatever this opposition is unearthing that is not happy or comfortable or fun. And then you're going to be liberated in some way. There's a potential that you'll feel a sense of either an epiphany of some kind, lightning strike. It could be literal liberation. We see that Taurus is your 11th house of hopes and dreams, and that unearthing or this tension, whatever this is creating in your first and seventh house axis, could very well be birthing something very new that's much more aligned to your hopes and dreams. So let's now go to the third when we're going. I'm going to change the time as well. Mars is going to be in your second house. Let me get to later. I'm going to go to about 9 p.m. And we see Mars. Now, this opposition is still going on, but Mars now, within a matter of hours, and it may be very interesting as you listen to this to even watch how your energy starts to lift. How, here we see that wheel is on your first house of Cancer. And as this fiery Mars moves into fiery and fun, and another house that represents me, so you're using your skills, you're using your talents, you're using your ability to potentially heal, nurture, intuit, and you're applying that with Saturn's support in your ninth house of creating more abundance and wealth for yourself. So this is an exciting time. And at the same time, it is so incredibly intense because of the emotional and psychological imprint that Pluto represents in how you feel cooperative, peaceful, and interact in both professional and personal relationships. You, Cancer, rule the home, and the home starts with the marriage, technically. And Pluto is breaking something up and has been for a while, and then it's going to move into your eighth house. Now, I think for you personally, that if you are birthing any sort of endeavor that will bring you resources, money, whatever you want to call it, into the home, Pluto's move into the eighth house is fabulous because it could really, as a result of letting go of fear and applying your skills and trusting that you keep doing the work, you could really start to feel your mojo. Whatever it is you want to create, that includes a family and children. Because, we're talking to a group of people that we have no idea which age bracket, and each age bracket or a season of life offers a certain milestones that people want. Let's go over to, I believe I'm going to go to the 5th now. I'm going to leave it at 9 o'clock. We're going to see an opposition. I believe it's, I went too far. Let's look at the 4th. But let's go back to the 3rd. Okay, I did get it exact. Venus and Jupiter are in that opposition, which is very interesting to me. Sagittarius is your 6th house of work, and Jupiter is your 12th house of ancestral energy, where you feel invisible, where you are. The 12th house represents the undoing we do to ourselves, that psychological imprint that, kind of sticks us somewhere. And with it being Gemini, it could very much be going back and forth with your thoughts, not feeling like you have enough information. And Jupiter is revisiting something about your self-worth. And I think, again, these planets, even though they're not all talking to each other, the conversations they're having individually are all pointing, for me with Cancer, to some birthing something that gives you a sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose, and brings some kind of resources into your home environment. Let's look now. We're going to move to the 11th. Let me click off of this. And I'm just going to leave it at 9 o'clock. Venus has moved into your 7th house. And Venus naturally rules the 7th house. She's very happy in the 7th house. And at the same time, we have the landscape of the Capricorn energy, which is about building. It's about, being a leader. It's about a sense of drive and ambition. It can also, feel a little repressive. But the nice thing about a Capricorn 7th house is that it's enduring. And so as Venus moves into your 7th house, she's going to start to build the structure, lay the foundation, put up the framing for whatever it is that she wants to build. We've been talking about for these last 2 weeks in this month of November, or the last 10 minutes of this video. And I think this is a really fortuitous time because even though Venus is not necessarily sexy in Capricorn, this is where you see I am woman, hear me roar. And this is not exclusive to women, but a power within yourself that understands its creation. So it's not just about the feminine, it's about the power of creation. And I think part of that too is the creation of peace of mind as you endeavor this broadening of yourself. Let's go now to the full moon in Taurus. This is going to be on the 15th at 1:28 p.m. I will be doing a separate video with more detail on that, but it's pretty significant because on the same day, Saturn moves direct. So we see, whenever we see a full moon, it's always the brightest phase of the moon. This is again lighting up your fifth house and your 11th house axis. The fifth house being that, individual expression, fun, pleasure, joy, the creation of children, and the 11th house representing the cosmic consciousness. It represents technology, the future. It represents big thoughts and ideas and hopes and dreams. When we overlay the Taurus energy, I feel like those hopes and dreams are much more focused on building something of the earth, building a strong homeland, nurturing the land, being a chef. Even here, the full moon is conjunct Uranus. This is going to bring a big epiphany. Something is going to hit you like a ton of bricks, as they say. And I don't know if it's bad or good, but it feels emotional to me because it's conjunct the moon. And if for some reason that epiphany has something to do with Pluto and Mars's opposition, it's not about judging yourself. It's about taking that piece of information and allowing that to move the story forward. We see here that Saturn's starting to move forward in your fifth house, and this will give you an opportunity to start to really root in whatever it is that you want to create, whatever it is you want to birth, ninth house. Saturn is moving in your ninth house. I apologize. Scorpio is your fifth house, Cancer. I'm glad I caught that. This is about building the structure for the business, for broadening the business, taking the talent and creating the content, or publishing the posts, or writing out, a plan. Is really powerful. And it is a little, it's a little nerve-wracking because with the square to Mercury here in your sixth house of work, you may think, how is this going to play out, or how long does it take to build? I think it's just really allowing for the pacing of it, trusting Cancer on some level that if you just continue to put one foot in front of the other, per se, that it will reveal itself. I can't help but notice kind of this big square going on here. The AC/DC line right now is being triggered. This is a transit again. Kids born or whoever's born at this time will have that, but it's not really. It's affecting you, but it's not affecting you. But it does create some sort of, to me, about creating a strong foundation based on the self and on how that can be of service to others. Okay. We also, that's it on that. Okay. Now let's go to the 19th, where we're going to see Pluto enter Aquarius. It's finally leaving your seventh house and entering your eighth house. And this is an energy that will be going on for the next 20 years. There'll be a continual rebirthing of yourself. And I think, I don't know why, you're birthing something. Maybe you're birthing something that has to do with Cancer energy. You've become very patriotic and you're creating some internet content about patriotism, or you are becoming a mother, or you're a mother, or you're even a grandmother, and you're sharing your wisdom of some kind. I feel like I'm taking this, whatever I broke up in this seventh house, I'm now of fears, oppression, I'm now bringing it into my eighth house and sharing it with others. And there's the potential to make money from it. And this is something you would be building and building. Now, the other thing that I think is so interesting about Pluto's entry into Aquarius is that it happens at 1:28 p.m. Pacific time, which is the exact time of the full moon that happened on the 15th of November. The 128 reduces down to an 11. 11 is the master number of thought. We started the month with Mars at 29 degrees, opposite Pluto at 29 degrees. The 29th degree reduces down to an 11. This all hits me. So I just see the numbers boom, boom, boom over and over again. And even the sun is at 28 degrees of Scorpio in your fifth house. And the 28 reduces down to a 1, a 10. So there's this series of 1, 1, 1 that's alerting you that your thoughts are things. And this is tasking you on some level to be aware that you are an emotional creature, that you get your best information from the moon. So, and that's what Pluto is probably going to do, as well as potentially bring whatever that moon reveals to you emotionally onto the world stage, which could very well completely change your life. Like motherhood brings you into a place of abundance, but not because you had a child, because you birthed something as a result of an inspiration of some kind. Okay, let's go to the 21st, where we'll see the sun enter Sagittarius. And the sun always likes to be in the fire signs, not that it doesn't like to be in the dark of Scorpio, but here we're getting a little more mojo going on here. And it feels good because now we're going to see the sun and Mercury have an interesting interaction. The sun is going to move forward in Sagittarius and it's going to go over the great attractor at 14 degrees, where your ability to birth yourself, your Sagittarius energy in the work environment, even potentially in the health environment, sixth house matters. You will be seen more, and I believe you'll attract the great attractor. You'll start to attract the energies you need. Now, the Mercury is going to go retrograde on the 25th, and when it does, it's going to go for the second time over the great attractor, and then when it goes direct, it will go back over. There's something about, even though Mercury is not strong in Sagittarius, there's something about going back and fine tuning, getting the details, learning more information that then contributes to me in my work environment. So as the sun and the moon, sun and Mercury cross, when Mercury retrogrades, I think there's going to be some illumination about Mercury matters. Your siblings, your teammates, your workmates. Sixth house matters is probably more than likely more focused on teammates, workmates, but it could inadvertently have something to do with a sibling and nurturing that sibling. Now, Mercury is going to retrograde from 22 degrees of Sagittarius back to 6 degrees of Sagittarius. This is going to happen from the 25th of November to the 15th of December. And I very much think that Mercury is revisiting themes from last year at this time. Mercury retrograded at approximately the same degrees, going over the same great attractor and the supergalactic center. I'm sorry, the galactic center. So this is kind of powerful, and you might think back about what was going on, because there may be themes coming up with that during this retrograde. The exact dates that Mercury will be on the 14 degrees of Sagittarius are November 13th, direct, December 5th, retrograde, and December 27th, direct. Then we go into the final day of the month is a new moon. And I'll move there. That's going to be on the 30th. And that takes place at 10:21 p.m. Pacific time. And again, this new moon is at 9 degrees. So there's been a Sagittarian theme that starts at the beginning of the month and one that ends, giving me an opportunity to plant the seeds for what I want in faith with the divine, connecting with my guides, my angels, whoever my divinity is. And I think this is really a powerful time, because there's going to be a lot of things going on outside of us and in our environments. We have experienced a presidential election this month, and it's affecting everyone, the United States here. And we're going to see a lot of stuff that is going to, on some level, inspire us to connect to our sense of God, our sense of connection to the universe. And I still think that Pluto is in a tough conversation with Mars. And, at this point, Pluto's a little bit colder and not really caring so much, and Mars might be slightly fired up. And Mars is here, making a nice aspect to the new moon, but can't see something, square and a half here to Mercury. So something is still going to be a little, I just think that the end of the month doesn't end. The new moon is giving us another layer of having to plant the seeds of faith. That what we want, our prosperity, our ability to thrive, that we'll be protected and cared for, that we get to believe all of that beyond what our eyes and our five senses are seeing. So that's a little bit of what I think we've been seeing in the United States. People, really embracing whatever they call their sense of connection to a bigger picture. So it is going to be a good month. We are walking through some very unusual times. On a world stage, I think that the full moon in Taurus is going to illuminate something about the United States and the election process that will be, very Uranian, unexpected, and a little lightning strike and maybe rebellious. So forewarned is forearmed. And I think that the greatest kind of protection we can have is our focus. Are we going to focus on what we worry about, or are we going to focus that God's watching over us, our angels are watching over us, and we're protected, and we are the lighthouse? Because Cancer, you nurture the zodiac and you love them and you heal them. All right. Thank you so much for listening again. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer. If you'd like to book a reading with me, my information is below. And please click the notification bell so you'll know when content comes out. Like, subscribe, share, all that great stuff. And I'll be back next month. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.